Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, This shall be the ritual for a leper at the time of being purified. When it has been reported to the priest shall go outside the camp. If the priest sees that the leper has been healed of the scaly affection, the priest shall order 2 live pure birds, cedar wood, crimson stuff, and hyssop to be brought for the one to be purified. The priest shall order one of the birds slaughtered over fresh water in an earthen vessel. And he shall take the live bird along with the cedar wood, the crimson stuff, and the hyssop, and dip them together with the live bird and the blood of the bird that was slaughtered over the fresh water. He shall then sprinkle it 7 times on the one to be purified of the eruption, and effect the purification, and he shall set the live bird free in the open country. The one to be purified shall wash those clothes, shave off all hair, and bathe in water, and then shall be pure. After that, the camp may be entered, but one must remain outside one's tent 7 days. On the 7th day, all hair shall be shaved off, of head, beard, if any, and eyebrows. Having shaved off all hair, the person shall wash those clothes and bathe the body in water, and then shall be pure. On the 8th day, that person shall take 2 male lambs without blemish, 1 ewe lamb in its first year without blemish, 3/10 of a measure of choice flour with oil mixed in for a meal offering, and 1 log of oil. These shall be presented before Adonai, with the party to be purified at the entrance of the tent of meeting by the priest who performs the purification. The priest shall take one of the male lambs and offer it with the log of oil as a guilt offering, and he shall elevate them as an elevation offering before Adonai. The lamb shall be slaughtered at the spot in the sacred area where the sin offering and the burnt offering are slaughtered. For the guilt offering, like the sin offering, goes to the priest. It is most holy. The priest shall take some of the blood of the guilt offering, and the priest shall put it on the ridge of the right ear of the one who is being purified, and on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot. The priest shall then take some of the log of oil and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in the palm of his left hand, and sprinkle some of the oil with his finger 7 times before Adonai. Some of the oil left in his palm shall be put by the priest on the ridge of the right ear of the one being purified, on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot, over the blood of the guilt offering. The rest of the oil in his palm the priest shall put on the head of the one being purified. Thus the priest shall make expiation for that person before Adonai. The priest shall then offer the sin offering and make expiation for the one being purified of defilement. Last, the burnt offering shall be slaughtered. And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meal offering on the altar. The priest shall make expiation for that person, who shall then be pure. If, however, one is poor and without sufficient means, that person shall take 1 male lamb for a guilt offering to be elevated in expiation, 1/10 of a measure of choice flour with oil mixed in for a meal offering, and a log of oil. And 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, depending on that person's means, the one to be the sin offering and the other the burnt offering. On the 8th day of purification, the person shall bring them to the priest at the entrance of the tent of meeting before Adonai. The priest shall take the lamb of guilt offering and the log of oil and elevate them as an elevation offering before Adonai. When the lamb of guilt offering has been slaughtered, the priest shall take some of the blood of the guilt offering and put it on the ridge of the right ear of the one being purified, on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot. The priest shall then pour some of the oil into the palm of his own left hand, and with the finger of his right hand the priest shall sprinkle some of the oil that is in the palm of his left hand 7 times before Adonai. Some of the oil in his palm shall be put by the priest on the ridge of the right ear of the one being purified, on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot, over the same places as the blood of the guilt offering. And what is left of the oil in his palm the priest shall put on the head of the one being purified, to make expiation for that person before Adonai. That person shall then offer one of the turtle doves or pigeons, depending on the person's means, whichever that person can afford, the one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering, together with the meal offering. Thus the priest shall make expiation before Adonai for the one being purified. Such is the ritual for one who has a scaly affection and whose means for purification are limited. Adonai spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, When you enter the land of Canaan that I give you as a possession, and I inflict an eruptive plague upon a house in the land you possess, the owner of the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, Something like a plague has appeared upon my house. The priest shall order the house cleared before the priest enters to examine the plague, so that nothing in the house may become impure. After that, the priest shall enter to examine the house. If, when he examines the plague in the walls of the house is found to consist of greenish or reddish streaks that appear to go deep into the wall, the priest shall come out of the house to the entrance of the house and close up the house for 7 days. On the 7th day the priest shall return. If he sees that the plague has spread on the walls of the house, the priest shall order the stones with the plague in them to be pulled out and cast outside the city into an impure place. The house shall be scraped inside all around, and the coating that is scraped off shall be dumped outside the city in an impure place. They shall take other stones and replace those stones with them, and take other coating and plaster the house. If the plague again breaks out in the house after the stones have been pulled out, and after the house has been scraped and replastered, the priest shall come to examine. If the plague has spread in the house, it is a malignant eruption in the house, it is impure. The house shall be torn down, its stones and timber and all the coating on the house, and taken to an impure place outside the city. Whoever enters the house while it is closed up shall be impure until evening. Whoever sleeps in the house must wash those clothes, and whoever eats in the house must wash those clothes. If, however, the priest comes and sees that the plague has not spread in the house after the house was replastered, the priest shall pronounce the house pure, for the plague has healed. To purge the house he shall take 2 birds, cedar wood, crimson stuff, and hyssop. He shall slaughter the one bird over fresh water in an earthen vessel. He shall then take the cedar wood, the hyssop, the crimson stuff, and the live bird, and dip them in the blood of the slaughtered bird in the fresh water, and sprinkle on the house 7 times. Having purged the house with the blood of the bird, the fresh water, the live bird, the cedar wood, the hyssop, and the crimson stuff, he shall set the live bird free outside the city in the open country. Thus he shall make expiation for the house, and it shall be pure. Such is the ritual for every eruptive affection, for scalds, for an eruption on cloth or house, for swellings, for rashes, or for discolorations, to determine when they are impure and when they are pure. Such is the ritual concerning eruptions. Adonai spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, When any man has a discharge issuing from his member, he is impure. The impurity from his discharge shall mean the following: whether his member runs with the discharge or is stopped up, so that there is no discharge, his impurity means this: any bedding on which the one with the discharge lies shall be impure, and every object on which he sits shall be impure. Those persons who touch his bedding shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. Those who sit on an object on which the one with the discharge has sat shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. Those who touch the body of the one with the discharge shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. If the one with the discharge spits on someone who is pure, the latter shall wash those clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. Any means for riding that the one with the discharge has mounted shall be impure. All those who touch anything that was under him shall be impure until evening, and all those who carry such things shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. All those whom the one with the discharge touches, without having rinsed his hands in water, shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. An earthen vessel that the one with the discharge touches shall be broken, and any wooden implement shall be rinsed with water. When the one with the discharge becomes purified of his discharge, he shall count off 7 days for his purification, wash those clothes, and bathe his body in fresh water. Then he shall be pure. On the 8th day he shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, and come before Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and give them to the priest. The priest shall offer them, the one as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering. Thus the priest shall make expiation on his behalf for his discharge before Adonai. When a man has an emission of semen, he shall bathe his whole body in water and remain impure until evening. All cloth or leather on which semen falls shall be washed in water and remain impure until evening. Likewise for a woman. When a man has carnal relations with her, both shall bathe in water and remain impure until evening. When a woman has a discharge, her discharge being blood from her body, she shall remain in her menstrual separation 7 days. Whoever touches her shall be impure until evening. Anything that she lies on during her menstrual separation shall be impure, and anything that she sits on shall be impure. All those who touch her bedding shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. And all those who touch any object on which she has sat shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. Be it the bedding, or be it the object on which she has sat, on touching it one shall be impure until evening. And if a man lies with her, her menstrual separation applies to him. He shall be impure 7 days, and any bedding on which he lies shall become impure. When a woman has had a discharge of blood for many days, not at the time of her menstrual separation, or when she has a discharge beyond her period of menstrual separation, she shall be impure as though at the time of her menstrual separation, as long as her discharge lasts. Any bedding on which she lies while her discharge lasts shall be for her like bedding during her menstrual separation, and any object on which she sits shall become impure, as it does during her menstrual separation. All those who touch them shall be impure, and shall wash their clothes, bathe in water, and remain impure until evening. When she becomes purified of her discharge, she shall count off 7 days, and after that she shall be pure. On the 8th day she shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, and bring them to the priest at the entrance of the tent of meeting. The priest shall offer the one as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering, and the priest shall make expiation on her behalf for her impure discharge before Adonai. You shall put the Israelites on guard against their impurity, lest they die through their impurity by defiling my tabernacle, which is among them. Such is the ritual concerning one who has a discharge, concerning him who has an emission of semen and becomes impure thereby, and concerning her whose condition is that of menstrual separation, and concerning anyone, male or female, who has a discharge, and concerning a man who lies with an impure woman.